sole or the only job of art is really to bring joy and uplift us. I'm in that camp. You know, I love that idea.
Well, thank you very much for sharing with us tonight, Trevor.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Now stay with us because we'll be back with more of Helen Norton's artwork at the Norton Gallery, South Fremantle, right here on Gallery Watch. Standing next to me is Chelsea Gibson, and she was actually a finalist on Australian Idol back in the day with Guy Sebastian, and she's been entertaining us with her beautiful voice tonight. How are you, Chelsea?
I'm great. I love doing these shows. It's so much fun. How are you?
I'm fantastic, thank you. Now, tell us how you got involved with tonight's event.
Through one of the radio stations, 6PR, and I've done a couple of these events now, and it's always enjoyable.
Now I'm holding a CD of yours here. Tell us about the CD.
Well, this was 3 years in the making, and it's finally finished. Yay! And it's all my own original material.
And tell us about your singing, your music style, your influences.
My style is a mixture of pop, blues, jazz, with some big ballads. So it's quite anthemic with choirs and orchestras as well.
Beautiful. Now, coming to an exhibition and something like this tonight, do you get a chance to have a look at the paintings around you?
Yes, of course. It was the first thing I did when I got here. It's always very exciting. There was something new up. I love the animal ones. They're my favourite because I'm a big animal lover.
Oh, wonderful.
Yeah.
Fantastic. All right, well, thank you very much, and thanks for entertaining us with your beautiful voice tonight.
Thanks. It's always a pleasure.
This is called The Capture of Enkidu, and it might be called The Beauty and the Beast if you like. A few people have thought that that's what the title is. And it's from another series of me exploring a story, an ancient story. And, you know, it's a story about a king, and I won't go on about it right now, but basically it is coming back to me exploring what a story from 5,000 years ago. It's the early part of the story where the wild man, and I think using a wild man, wherever I use a character, it's a metaphor for parts of ourselves. So there's a part of us that, you know, that wild man in all of us, female or male, and being seduced by the big undoer, which is, you know, lust and love. And in this particular part of the story, Shamash, the harlot from the city, is actually sent out to seduce this amazing, strong wild man so that he can be brought into the city to fight the king, because the young king, of course, wants to prove his strength by fighting the strongest wild man. So again, we've got nature going on here again, and it's that conflict of man with nature, bringing that, you know, sophisticated red gown into a natural setting, the innocence of Enkidu with the animals. Again, there's the clash. So you can see a constant theme going on. It's which I love to explore and enjoy.
This particular theme between the environment and man, is this something that you've always been interested in, or is it come about because it's your exploration of current issues?
Well, I suppose it is something that I've always been interested in, because I spent 10 years in the outback of Australia. When I left home when I was 16, and I was a Melbourne-born girl in the city, and all I want to do is get out of there, and I didn't know why, I didn't know where I was going to go, and I ended up in the desert, and I travelled around. I was on cattle stations and out in very remote camps. We were rabbit shooters, fox shooters, shark fishing. So I did a lot of very odd occupations, and I wasn't an artist. I always painted, but I didn't, you know, it wasn't something that you did seriously. And so I actually worked for 10 years solid in the desert and in very awkward situations. And in that time, I wasn't thinking like an artist, I was thinking like a beast of nature. And so I was, you know, walking the tracks, picking up gibber stones with fossilised snakes in them and crocodile teeth, and I loved that life, and I immersed myself in it. So I guess that this is very genuine from me. It's where I carved my personality out there with those very hard men and doing very hard things, and it shaped who I think I am today. You know, it would have been great if my dad hadn't thrown my scholarship in the bin. I probably would have gone and done politics and economics in university, but because I was bright. But instead, I ended up on this amazing journey out in the Outback. And so that gave me a different insight into being a human in nature. And it was probably more like the Aboriginal experience because it was the original Aboriginal experience. And so you do develop this incredible awe about Mother Nature. You learn very quickly that if you're a fool, you'll die. And that was the lesson that I picked up. And I think that it just I'm very practical, I'm very logical, but I have a big imagination. And I think that's just stayed with me, and it stays as a warning because I nearly died 3 times in the desert in various situations, you know, of thirst and otherwise. And you do reflect on lots of things about your actions and the consequences of them, and how Mother Nature really doesn't care. So having a healthy reverence is incredibly important, and so I can do that through my paintings, which I think's wonderful.
I love the fact that they're vibrant, and I love the colour. I love the fact that they're not traditional. The characters are something that we don't quite know what they are. We can call them little things. That's what I love.
Sulking Teacup. The colours in this painting are incredible.
Yes, they do vibrate really well. There's a lot of contrast and the forms as well, the shapes and it's almost, you know, there's a lot of clinging and animals sort of clutching to things and yes, and it's almost as if she's got the world at her beck and call, but she's sulking. So there's once again that bringing in a metaphor with really great strong colours, because I think that it helps the medicine to go down if you can present something in a really bright and strong vivid way. It's just great to look at. So it's a seduction technique.
Yeah, it's interesting. Now, someone mentioned that they felt really drawn in by the red. Is that something that you know is going to happen with your use of colour? Yeah,
absolutely. I mean, you can manipulate colour. It's important that you do, and it's just something that you're always thinking about in the studio. I think it's intuitive. So you will sometimes be conscious about it, but other times it just flows because it's actually that works with that. So but the science of painting is always stuck in the back of your mind about complementary colours and so on and so on. So we definitely do work with it to create the best vibrancy, by putting certain colours together. Precious is rather intriguing, isn't it? And this is because, for me, what I was thinking about is that there was this huge horse originally that was the Trojan horse, and it was about what the captain classed as precious. And when I first composed it, it had a whole lot of other objects in there that were statues and things, and then I threw in the animals, the organic animals. So the horses was more like a statue, more like a Trojan horse, more like something we'd create to honour animals or in the name of animals. But what about those meaty, warm creatures, or sometimes the fish, that are there as well? And again, using a lot of spontaneous palette knife work and imagery, it comes up with a vibrant, energetic, with a bit of graffiti on the boat. Someone was not happy with the bunny because he was looking a bit odd and sad, but I guess that poignancy is what I'm also trying to put into the work, and the occasional naive figure or line, which gives you that sense of it being spontaneous and maybe not even quite finished. Sure. What's the saying about no painting's ever finished, they're just abandoned.
Da Vinci, I think.
I think, yes, that's right. So I think that definitely is the case.
Yeah.
you look at the naivety of the way the animals are painted, you could never ever kind of evoke that unless somebody who's so experienced as Helen could do that.
Sleeping Beauty's in a foul mood for shame. She says, none for you, dear prince, I'm tired today. I'd rather sleep my whole life away than have you keep me from dreaming.
Tell us about hybrid car.
Hybrid car. It's like a little Prius, isn't it? Again, it's taking the arc when I was thinking of NoArk and modernising the idea and throwing in certain other aspects of our cartoon life, if you like. And you know, hybridisation is something that's so normal now, and everything that we do is you know, a lot of the food we eat. So it's just really the cars we drive. I've really taken that, and it's a bit of a pun on that, you know, the camouflage car. So putting it together in an image like that, I felt very satisfied that I might have actually got it right. So I'm looking forward to Toyota perhaps, or someone to releasing this new
Calling you up.
really fancy looking car instead of those boring little hybrids that they make with a bit of you know, the antlers up the top. So again, and lifting off, throwing all the animals in with the arc concept again, which is a constant serious theme of mine, which is, look, don't forget the animals, because we are one too. And yes.
These little characters here, I've just noticed this one has a gun, but these characters that you've included in some of your paintings.
Yeah, it's my way again of homogenising the idea, you know, just putting it into, it could be any of us, there's no particular race, it's just population expansion, breeding like bunnies. So I think it works for me. But yeah, putting it all into an image with a bit of humour does help the serious message to go down.
Thank you so much for sharing with us tonight, Helen. It's been such a pleasure.
Oh, thank you very much. It's been lovely to talk to you.
And I have to say, before we go, I love your boots. They're amazing.
Thank you. They're compliments of Istanbul.
Incredible. Well, thank you. And thank you for watching tonight. We've been watching Gallery Watch, and we're here with Helen Norton at her exhibition at the Norton Gallery in South Fremantle. NoArk, How Do We Stay Enchanted? And we'll see you next time on Gallery Watch.
Girl, I say, if only life would lean our way.